We're going to start with John first. And overall, we thought what we wanted to learn about, and we wanted to bring each one of them here because they were going to give a different perspective. And they've all been at our academy. Well, the Doves are coming to the academy, so we wanted to just share some of the talent that's been. Have you enjoyed the academy? Is it a beautiful space? Incredible. You'll be with us in November.
November 4th.
Right? November 4th. The Doves will be with us in 2014. Right, so we're excited about that. So, and we have a whole host of classes, and you can pick up. In fact, I think you got it in your goodie bag as well, the Academy information. So, John, kick it off for us. I mean, overall, we're going to talk about some specialties, but tell us a little bit about what you're seeing in overall color trends.
So I just think in overall color trend, trend for me is, in a word, it's that in and out so quick. But also I think there's the overall trend. Right now there's this monochromatic illusion, but monochromatic, it's not just one single shade, but highs, medium, and lows of multiples. And also we have this other that I like to giggle about earlier, this thing called ombre. What is gradation? This is not something that's going to leave anytime soon, but ombre is really the art of diffusion of tones, and if that's going to be as contrast or if it's going to be within harmonious levels, it's really something around that's there. I'd like to call it a little bit more of a seamless, pixelated like effect that happens whenever you're threading through.
Pixelated?
Because I think that there's this real illusion, right? Is it really there, or is it an illusion that's happening within hair color? That as you diffuse through different shades and you integrate the highs, the mediums, and lows, if that's going to be on a broken weave section, you paint high, you paint low, and then you would place it against a background, it creates this beautiful pixelated effect that as the hair moves, you just see a flicker. It's almost like you've added metallics into the hair color, which I just see it happening now. It's pushing forward into latter part of the year and into next, and it's the difference between what is I think a pure versus a pastel.
We have seen a lot and heard a lot about ombre is going away. What do you guys think? Ombre going away?
I don't think ombre is going away at all. I think as hair colorists, it's up to us to give our own different versions of ombre and move it on to the next level. But I think the reality is our clients are asking for it. They're going to ask for it. I think it's a very nice looking technique. It's just that we need to add our own individual spin on it.
Yeah. I think ombre is the little black dress. I don't think it's going away. No, not anytime soon, simply because, to your point, Sonia, it is what our clients are asking for, and women want to look beautiful. And I loved how you were talking about just being seamless and how you can paint things or do things that they have a mystique to them, And I know that a lot of times, being a balayageur, sometimes people think ombre is just a technique. I don't think it's a technique. I think it's a look. And I think a little black dress is not going to go away. Women are going to continue to accessorize it differently.
I mean, I think, John had a very good point about trends, and I think there's short-term trends and there's long-term trends and things that are kind of around this season, next season. And then there's long-term trends. And I think, hair color does tend to move quite slowly in those long trends. And I think, we all 10 years ago used to have those clients that had big stripes in their hair. And we've all still got one now that we cringe every time she comes in the salon. And I was talking about it on stage at this event last year, and I was saying, it's now got to the point where she's having, bleach at level 25 and a 1, and she still wants more contrast. And we're trying to get rid of those, we're trying to soften it up. And I think, ombre is going to be around for a long time. We're going to be sitting here in 15 years' time going, bet you've still got a client that has ombre. So I think it's just about what's around now. But I think long term, it's, as John said, people think of ombre as a look. And I think really it's about a feel. And it is about this very seamless blending of colors. And I think it's what makes something modern looking now is not this one color all the way through. It's having that flow of the colors. So I think definitely around for the long term, whether we like it or not, it's taken on a world of its own. And it's out there, and the clients are going to keep asking for it. So I think, to Mary's point, it is very much about us as hairdressers and being the professional, about coming up with new ideas of how we can move them on, so we're not stuck here in 10 years' time moaning that we've all got lots of clients with ombre.
And John, tell us other trends that you're seeing as well. And everybody, do you all feel, ombre, are you continuing to see ombre? Your clients are asking for it. Just different ways of doing it. I was in Tracy Cunningham's salon in Beverly Hills, and she said it's just changing now. It's not going away. It's just changing. We're just seeing lightness in parts of the hair. And she, again, as a huge celebrity colorist, so she doesn't see it going away anytime soon.
Exactly, and I think even for the cities that have been maybe going into this ombre look for the last 2 years, it's already evolved multiple times over, and it's continuing to move forward one more time. But yet, in some marketplaces, it's just now beginning. Right, which I like, you know, and even besides ombre, there is this trend of hair painting, which of course I live for, and that to me, that Victoria's Secret beautiful movement through hair, I think that is what has become that new partial highlight against a single process and trend, you know. But then a little more. I mentioned pixelation. It's in these short shapes, right? The heavier fringes. It's more than just that little sweep fringe, right? You know, that the non-committer fringe. I want it to sweep. Yeah, of course you do, because that's different than the rest of the world. But, you know, let's let it sweep. So, you know, the strength of these fringes is collapsed temporal lines. I want to make sure that I shadow and showcase. So working just in the isolated rounds of head, I always speak to something called where does color live? And working into that round interior allows that color to really accentuate that shape. But again, it's not those contrasted streaks, you know, that Kelly Clarkson, since you've been gone, thank God, kind of look. You know, you know, I'm not the biggest hater. If you love it, I mean, yay, you live for it. But, you know, having contrast within your tonalities, I think working through the interiors, I think that's really where it is. And back to this real illusion, is it really in there or not? Right? It's all about just shadowing those lines, you know, accentuating a little bit through the shine line, but it's done still like a hairpin.
Yeah, great. Thank you, John.